What if I told you that not every myth, tale, or a legend are 100% work of fiction? What if I told you that a lot of them are familiar to the people across the borders and some of them may have actually had a very real prototype? Once the biggest country in the world wasn't only good in producing fantastic weapons of mass destruction, exploring our galaxy, and training bears. The stories among its citizens show us some of the hidden aspects of the events occurring in one of the mightiest countries that has ever existed. Today we are talking about the top 5 urban legends of the former Soviet Union. Welcome to the Legovis channel. If you haven't seen the HBO's TV show about the Chernobyl disaster, please do it. Well, not immediately, but maybe after you watch this fantastic video. But while the show's severe attention came from the scientific realities underlying the crisis, some had been claiming for years that there was another definitely paranormal set of events happening at the same time. Beginning in April of 1986, a rumor tore through the ranks of what was then a little-known nuclear power plant located in the southern tier of Ukraine, then part of the Soviet Union, Chernobyl. In the days preceding the tragic meltdown, 4 Chernobyl employees had reported seeing what they claimed was a large, dark, headless man with gigantic wings and fire-red eyes. Some had been having horrifying nightmares, while others received threatening phone calls. According to accounts, some of these employees even mentioned their bizarre experience to their superiors at the facility, but without evidence or any clear-cut indication of what the issue may be. There was not much these officials could do, even had they been willing to take action. And the real Soviets, unsurprisingly, don't bother with these kind of things, do they? According to another version, some even claim that it hovered over the plant during the meltdown itself. So it eventually came to be known as the Blackbird of Chernobyl. Researchers now believe that the accounts surrounding this creature are similar to what investigators now recognize to be an archetypal Mothman event. Some claim they might refer to the same entity who only seems to appear before disasters caused by engineering flaws. You know about the movie with Richard Gere, right? Known as the Stalin's best kept secret. Is there anybody better than keeping a secret than the Soviets? Let's see. The subterranean world has always captured our imagination. From the Paris catacombs to Cold War era bunkers and unfinished architectural masterpieces. Metro 2, as it is referred to, is said to be bigger than the well-known public metro system in the Russian capital and connects the Kremlin to the KGB headquarters, to the Moscow State University, to the government airport, as well as towns and, of course, Stalin's residences outside the city. Evidence can also be seen inside the Moscow subway. There are blocked stairways and gates leading to nowhere in some of the stations, and a famous dead-end line that can be seen on various points. The line, as amateur explorers report, ends near a massive gate, which is believed to be one of the entrances to Metro 2. But the Russians don't stop here. Evidently, there are huge radioactive rats that live in the metro tunnels too. What do you think? Fortunately, the Great Russian River hasn't turned black because of some oil accident or painting experiment. One of the cultural icons of the Soviet Union was the executive car that especially came in one exceptional color, the Black Volga. The story about the Black Volga is familiar to many people in the former Eastern Bloc. It was very popular mostly in the 60s and the 70s. This dark story and its origins were closely connected to the disappearance of people. Some say that a car would sometimes stop and ask a passing person what the time was. As soon as the man or a woman, or especially the child, came closer to give the answer, its door opened and the person was quickly dragged inside. Sometimes it was claimed to simply appear seemingly out of nowhere, sweep off kids and drive off. Another common belief was that the Black Volga was a demonic entity used by Satan or other high-ranking spirits of evil to capture human souls. The appearance of the Black Volga was also described differently in different times and regions. Usually it was said to have some white elements in its exterior, such as white curtains or white wheel rims. In the later times, some even claimed to have seen the Black Volgas with the horns instead of winged mirrors, adding to the demonic image of the vehicle. And there is another scenario, of course, the KGB and kidnapping people for organ trading or use for the Soviet elite. So if you see a person driving Black Volga in the street, just tell them your watch is out of function and your battery is just dead. Stay safe. The most enduring myths and legends always have a drop of truth to them. Even better if it involves science. How much truth does this Soviet legend have? Let's begin. Lots of countries wanted to be the first to drill into the Earth's mantle during the Cold War. In the 1970s, a group of Russian scientists started a project to inspect the super deep layers of the Earth. Unlike other boreholes which were drilled to investigate deposits of oil or gas, these project holes were created purely for scientific purposes, to study the inner composition of the Earth's crust. So, they digged Earth's deepest artificial hole that stretches 40,000 feet below the surface, the Kola Super Deep Borehole, located in the Kola Peninsula, belonging to the Murmansk region of Russia. Now, the real party begins. Nothing was out of the ordinary until one day a drilling machine began acting very strangely. The meters for depth and pressure predicted an absurd set of readings, and the temperature radiating out of the hole tested up to 2000 degrees Fahrenheit, approximately 1100 degrees Celsius. This was a shock for these men of science who knew this couldn't be possible, but even more disturbing were the low, muffled noises coming from the hole itself. Wondering if they indicated some kind of tectonic activity, they rigged together a set of microphones and lowered them into the hole. The microphone started picking up screams that were unmistakably human. The drill had reached the cavity where hell was. Some say the story was made up after the Cold War, some say the recording was found to be looped together from various sound effects. Well, the hole could still be visited nowadays, why don't you go and see for yourself? Here we are. If you think you like horror stories, you may change your opinion after you hear this Soviet woman legend. Researchers in the late 1940s kept 5 people awake for 15 days using an experimental gas-based stimulant. Okay, nice start. This was before closed-circuit cameras, so they had only microphones inside. Days 1 to 5. Their conversations and activities were monitored, and it was noted that they continued to talk about increasingly traumatic incidents in their past, and the general tone of their conversations took on a darker aspect after the 4-day mark. Day 5. They started to demonstrate severe paranoia. They stopped talking to each other and began whispering to the microphones. Day 9. The first of them started screaming. After yelling and running for 3 hours straight, his vocal cords nearly broke. The most surprising thing about this behavior is how the other captives reacted to it, or rather, didn't react to it. The screaming promptly stopped, so did the whispering to the microphones. Day 14. The researchers were afraid the captives were either dead or vegetables. They announced, "We're opening the chamber to test the microphone. Step away from the door and lie flat on the floor, or you will be shot." However, a voice from inside answered, "We no longer want to be freed." Day 15. The stimulant gas was replaced by fresh air, and the researchers opened the chamber. The results were chaotic. One inmate was dead. The inmates had been severely mutilated. They seemed to have ripped open their own abdomens and even eaten their own flesh. The researchers wanted to kill the prisoners and remove all traces of the experiment, but their commanding officer demanded it be resumed immediately, with the researchers throwing the inmates into sealed chamber. Horrified, the chief researcher drew his gun and shot the commander point blank. He pointed his gun at the remaining subject. "What are you?" he asked. "I must know." The subject smiled. "Have you forgotten so easily?" the subject asked. "We are you. We are the madness that lurks within you all, begging to be free at every moment in your deepest animal mind." The researcher paused, then aimed at the subject's heart and fired. The EEG flatlined as the subject weakly choked out. "So nearly free. One hell of a lie." If you enjoyed our content, please don't forget to hit that like button below. Most importantly, subscribe to our channel if you wanna see more videos like this. Comment below to share your thoughts so you may suggest us any topic you want us to explore and present to our audience. We are uploading daily videos about amazing facts, mysteries and stories you have never heard before. So please share this video to your friends, because in that way you are helping us so much, so that we can continue our work and grow our channel to the top, together with you. In that way you become part of the Ligobis family. Because you are not watching an ordinary YouTube channel, you are on a place where the truth is far stranger than the fiction. See you tomorrow again. Bye.